Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that Israel has destroyed 70% of Iran's steel production capacity and has now targeted its petrochemical plants, adding that operations will continue as Israel steps up pressure, signaling a further escalation in the conflict. Commodore Sodhi, like Mr. Dwivedi was in fact pointing out, do you believe that Iran has or the US has the capacity to maybe put boots on the ground to finish this war once and for all? Do you believe with the number of people, with the number of bases, and with the number of equipment that they've deployed to that region, they will be able to overcome the Iranian force?
You see, so far the boots on ground is concerned, America is not looking at taking over the territory of Iran. At the most, America is thinking of carrying out an attack on Kurd Island with the help of marine forces. At the same time, I think US is looking at carrying out operations near the nuclear facilities of Iran so that they can take hold of the uranium from there. Otherwise, just sending the American forces inside Iran would be catastrophic because of the geographical location of Iran as well as the terrain of Iran. And then the people of Iran, because the people of Iran have got very high moral courage, they believe in martyrdom. And as my co-panelist was saying, that there is a possibility of the Iranian, civilian population joining these forces and getting into hordes and then going and standing in front of the American forces if at all they intend to invade Iran. So the possibility of limited operations with regard to, having a control of Kurd Island as well as other islands in Hormuz and the nuclear facilities to take out uranium, that is possible. That I would like to say as of now.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Let me in fact bring in some more information that we are getting right now. We are seeing dramatic visuals of a gas facility in Kuwait being hit by what appears to be a drone. The moment of the impact is visible, followed by a massive fireball lighting up the site. There is no official confirmation yet on the cause or the extent of the damage. So we are still getting those visuals for you where it seems to be a drone that has hit a gas facility in Kuwait. Mr. Dwivedi, like Commodore Sodhi has also been pointing out, we are still seeing energy infra being targeted in the region. This is obviously going to lead to economic crisis for years to come.
When we are talking about war, attrition, political violence and massacring and killings, then one cannot leave aside the fact that there exists a kind of a very persistent continuum, a continuity between the economics and politics of a country or the larger region, and finally in the age of globalization, interdependence and convergence, the entire global economy gets affected by it. This is one part of it. But herein, as we are saying, it was informed yesterday also, we all know about it, that the prominent American corporate firm Oracle's office has also been bombarded. So Iran and the Hamas and the entire axis of resistance had been clamoring about it. They had been alleging that the American shelling is causing a lot of collateral damage. And Hamas's entire existential and substantial argument rests upon the fact that the incubator, that the child incubator holding hospitals in Gaza, they were intentionally bombarded by Benjamin Netanyahu, but nobody told them that in the same hospital, the Hamas's war equipment, their missiles, drones, and shoulder-head weaponry was also stored. So the idea is that when you are pointing a finger at other people, the other fingers and the thumb point towards you. So here, I think We are talking about the issue of collateral damage, where the civilian infrastructure and innocent lives are also lost. I'll briefly mention about something which I had done earlier. That is, if we go back into the Iran-Iraq war, we completely cannot be all contemporaneous. We need to look at history also. There are two places, but one place I would like to talk about, Al-Habaja, is the place where the biggest chemical attack in the history of mankind was initiated by Saddam Hussein. And around 20,000 people woke up to a beautiful, sunny, and extraordinarily ebullient day. But as it has been reported by Washington Post and New York Times of that particular time in 88. But suddenly, once he went out to the garden, he could see his neighbors, their women and kids falling like leaves over each other. And there was a rotten smell of rotting garbage and rotting apples all over the place. So, I'm not trying to make it melodramatic, but the idea is the plight of the commoners, which
Right.
normally troubles everybody when war occurs. And Iran and the axis of resistance ought to know that, if you are doing this to the American companies and, to the coalition of willing, you should learn not to do it, or maybe you should learn to be more careful in your targeting and declarations before the targeting, if
Right.
the Iranians need to have a say in the war, or if they want to be in it for the playing for keeps, as far as Operation Epic
All right.
Fury is concerned.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Manan.